Give a smile, give a smile, give a smile, give a smile. Give a smile, give a smile. Be the reason someone smiles. Give a smile, give a smile, give a smile, give a smile. Give a smile, give a smile. Be the reason someone smiles. Give a smile, give a smile, give a smile. Give a smile, give a smile. Be the reason someone smile. Give a smile, give a smile, give a smile, give a smile. Give a smile, give a smile. Be the reason someone smiles. Simba, gedola, liyo, liyo, desimcha. Simba, gedola, liyo, liyo, desimcha. Simba, gedola, liyo, liyo, desimcha. Simba, gedola, liyo, desimcha. Simba, gedola, liyo, 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 desimcha. Be the reason someone smiles. 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 Simba gedola, liyo desimcha. Simba gedola, liyo liyo desimcha. Simba gedola, liyo liyo desimcha. Simba gedola, liyo desimcha. Someone smile. Be the reason someone smile. Be the reason someone smile. Be the reason someone smiles. Be the reason someone smiles.
Breakfast with Elli.
Mode ani lefanecha melech chai v'kayam shechazarta bi nishmati b'chemla raba emunatecha.
Der Ewigste hat ihm gegeben eine Möglichkeit, soll können schreiben in der Zeitung. Ist mich stark, hat ihm gegeben in Zeitung, soll schreiben, nice, was tut sich in Milchome, was sie da in Katzvitevo. Aber das ist mehr nicht der reiswenigste Lewusch, ein reiswenigste Scholach, durch welche soll können ausnutzen seine Möglichkeiten auf versprechen Niedigkeit. Da versuchen Weg, beschaß beschreiben, was tut sich in der Milchome, sondern von dort in der Mini von Aschgocha Protis. Was weiß, dass für sich der hat eine Möglichkeit beeinflussen. Alle Lehner von der Zeitung gesagt, Gamere nicht, jetzt ja das, was begnügen sich mit sich und mit seinen Bnei.
Responsibilities of a reporter, according to the Lubavitcher Rebbe. All right, good morning and welcome to Breakfast with Elli. It is Monday, the 13th day of May, the 5th day of the month of Iyar. The Torah portion is Emor, HaYom Yom Sheini Shabbos, the second day counting up towards Shabbos. We learned the second Aliyah. Good morning, how are you? What is happening, everybody? Man, I wish you guys would post in the comments what's going on with all y'all. I'd really like to know. All right. Well, you have the whole program to do it, so don't get all frustrated. All right. We're going to start. We've got a lot to get through today. So, men and boys, take your two front sitzes.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al mitzvat tzitzit.
All right. Everyone together, al divrei Torah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al divrei Torah.
All right. Hareini Mekabel.
Hareini Mekabel alai mitzvat aseh shel ve'ahavta l'reacha kamocha. I take upon myself every single day to love my fellow friend in a very special way.
Torah Tziva.
Ay Torah tziva lanu Moshe morasha keilat Yaakov. Torah tziva lanu Moshe morasha keilat Yaakov.
All right, time to give some tzedakah.
I put it in the pushki, the
Putting it in the
tzedakah box.
push.
I put it in the pushki, the tzedakah box. I put it in the pushki for someone else to keep. Yeah, I put it in the pushki, the tzedakah box. I put it in the pushki, the tzedakah box. I put it in the pushki for someone else in need.
All right, fantastic. All right, now it's time for your Shema. How about we do it? Right hand over your eyes.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shahakal niyeh b'devoroi, shahakal
And
niyeh
we pray that our
b'devoroi.
soldiers and our loved ones are returned to us safely. Yeah, what can I say? All right, time for breakfast. Coffee, yogurt. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehakol nihiyah bidvaroi. Oh, nice. Ah, yes.
Coffee, blessed coffee. God bless you for being a friend. When the whole world turns on me, it's only you on which I can depend. I want to taste you in the morning and a few times throughout the day. Yes, a cup or two in the evening too. For me, it's the only way. Yeah.
All right. All right. I have something cool to show you. Let me pop it in so that you can get it right here. You know what? Let's go to today's Sphira and we'll talk about it right afterwards. Today's
49
Sphira.
days to count the Omer. After it's dark, Mark, at the end of my read, Steve, do it in shul, shmuel, just count with me. Look for the stars, Tamar.
All right,
Just be
last
sure to
night
make
we
the
counted
bracha.
20, which is
Erev
the
is the
Sod
key,
and Shemit
see.
Beres.
Count Sphira with me.
Let's hear Chazan Brook. So beautiful. All right. And now I'm going to put it right there and hope that it works quickly. Which it's not. But it's coming up. Ah, yes, indeed. I so love it. Ah, there you are. So for the first time ever, oops, stop it. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu posted a picture of himself wearing tefillin with this caption at the bottom. Let all the peoples of the earth see that the name of God is called upon you, and they will fear you. And that refers to tefillin, we are told. Ruchama, the mother of Moshika Doino, named Yakum Demo, who fell in the Tzuk Eitan operation, brought me his tefillin, the Prime Minister writes. The tefillin that were there with him all the time during the battles are the only item that survived the inferno in which Moshiko fell. The smell of gunpowder still remains on the tefillin cover. I promised to Chama that I would place the tefillin for the uplifting of Moshiko's soul and for the uplifting of the souls of all of our fallen. That's what I do today with holy fear. Yehi Zecher, his memory, may the memory of our martyrs be blessed and enshrined in our hearts forever. Written by the Prime Minister of Israel as he laid tefillin in honor of the fallen soldiers. I think that's pretty cool. Somebody else had posted a picture of all of the prime ministers of Israel laying tefillin. It was quite the wonderful sight to see. All right. Yeah, we will move on now. Today is the yahrzeit of Rabbi Yeshaya Berlin. Reb Yeshayahu Berlin was a noted Talmudist who served as a rabbi in Breslov in Poland. He authored numerous works, but most famous for the cross-references to parallel Talmudic texts mentioned in various tractates. Let's move BB out of the way here. Thanks for being here, BB. We definitely appreciate it. Now, these references that Rabbi Berlin did, together with those of two previous scholars, Rabbi Yeshua Boaz and Rabbi Yosef Shmuel, are indispensable for Talmud study and are printed alongside the text in all standard editions of the Talmud. Napoleon fails to conquer Acre. The attempted conquest of Acre, which was a vital part of Napoleon's Mediterranean campaign against the Ottoman Empire. However, the local troops, supervised by the Pasha's Jewish advisor, Chaim Parchi, valiantly withstood the 2-month-long siege. After a final attempt to conquer the city on May 10th, corresponding to the 5th day of Iyar, today, Napoleon gave up his plans and the siege was lifted. Today, the British mandate to govern the Holy Land expired in 1948. A United Nations resolution passed 6 months earlier endorsed the a United Nations resolution passed 6 months earlier endorsed the establishment of a Jewish state in the biblical homeland for the Jewish people. That afternoon, the state of Israel was proclaimed in Tel Aviv. 4 neighboring Arab countries launched a brutal war on Israel's Jewish inhabitants, but were unable to realize their bloodthirsty interest in circumstances described only as miraculous. The date Hey Iyar, the 5th of Iyar on the Jewish calendar, is celebrated in Israel as Yom HaAtzmaut, Israeli Independence Day. The English fleet, headed by Captains Venable and William Penn, seized the island of Jamaica, occupying Santiago de la Vega, later known as a Spanish town, in 1655. They were welcomed by the Marranos, who began to openly acknowledge their Jewish religion, and soon after founded a shul in Point Royal. A Jewish community descended from these original Jews still exists there today in Jamaica. All right. Let's see. All right. I think we will leave it there. Here is a wonderful video. Watch this.
Hello, it's a pleasure. We have a company that has health and nutrition products. We've helped people be healthy all over the world for 10 years. We've already done $2.5 billion worth of business. We just developed a program, strictly kosher program, especially for the Jewish community. I want to ask your blessing to help us bring good health with these products and an opportunity to improve someone's financial status with these products and our company throughout the Jewish community all around the world.
That means that you have a rabbinical supervision.
Yes, yes.
But God Almighty bless you to go from strength to strength in the good supervision, and that will add also in the quality of the production, and the main thing to have a real parnasa and to use your parnasa for good purposes, also your private life.
Yes.
May God Almighty bless you. That is your personal blessing.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Your personal blessing. Your personal blessing.
A double portion of blessing. All right. HaYom Yom for today. Iyar.
היום הזה הוא זמן שמחתנו
The most important thing that you accomplish today may be very small. Small in the sense that you won't even think about it a minute after it's done. Says today's HaYom. The following lesson was taught to the Alter Rebbe, first Rebbe of Chabad, by the Tzaddik Reb Mordechai. Reb Mordechai in turn heard this teaching from the Baal Shem Tov, founder of the Hasidic movement. Says the Baal Shem Tov, when a person is granted the gift of life, his soul may descend to this world and live. This person will live for 70 or 80 years for the purpose of doing a favor to another Jew. This could be a material favor, like lending somebody a hand, or a spiritual favor, like giving somebody encouragement or inspiration. So the next time you have the opportunity, you have to make a decision about doing somebody a favor. Don't think about it like you are going out of your way to help someone. That act of kindness is not a detour from where you have to get. On the contrary, this opportunity to do somebody a favor might be your chance to realize the purpose of your entire life.
That wasn't the song. I was trying to find the song. Here it is. All right, well, let me pop it in for you because I like that song and I want to hear it. So hold on one second. Let me get that song for us. And I'm sure that we can all benefit from it. Hold on. Just a simple moment. Computer's being difficult today. A little bit difficult. But we'll get it. We'll get it right. We'll get it right. Here we go. All right. Are you ready? I know you are. Cute video. Let's watch it.
Dear Talmud and Rabbins Yeshiva, tell me, what does it mean? Chinuch al Taras HaKodesh, a Chassid in the Rashbi. It is living without a bed, and what he wants of us all. When he founded our yeshiva and clearly stated its goal, there are three types of avon, as the Rebbe's kinder we know. Without one, we're just not complete. Each one important to grow. To love a fellow Jew
Beautiful. A word from our sponsors.
And now, a word from our sponsors. PestProRidall.com.
PestProRidall.com. Trusted by the best to keep away the pests. We are offering COVID-19 disinfection services. Mention this ad and get 1 month free service. Visit us at PestProRidall.com.
Tarzane Group. Micro, miniature, and small orchids. Go to tarzanegroup.com or call Tomas at 305-440-0565. That's 305-440-0565 and order today. Visit Tomas and Yair at tarzanegroup.com. Micro, miniature, and small orchids. Beautiful in your home. Go to the website and read Tomas's orchid blog. And by Dina D Design. DinaDDesign@gmail.com. Fine artwork, custom made to your specifications, logos, wall hangings, Judaica, and you can even have something for your child's room. Dina D Designs. Go to her Facebook or Instagram or call or text. Thank you very much to our sponsors. If you'd like to become a sponsor, please go right up here to where it says patreon.com/theactorsrabbi, and you can contribute even only $1 a month if you'd like, but that'll help us bring this broadcast to you on a daily basis and cover our expenses. Be sure to thank your sponsors when shopping and mention Breakfast with Elli when you're shopping there. There might be discounts. Thanks for watching.
Torah, 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 Tziva lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 Tziva lanu Moshe.
All right, you know the drill. Patreon.com/theactorsrabbi or breakfastwithelli.live/new-computer if you would like to help us and contribute to bringing Torah all around the world. All around the world. All right. Thank you so much. I do appreciate it. All of you who have already given and all of you who plan to give. So thank you so much. All right. What do we have? There we go. And there we go. Okay. Since we didn't finish the name of the Parsha yesterday, we're going to finish that today. The first collection of laws concerns only the Kohanim, the priestly caste, and indeed is addressed to them specifically, while the second is central to the life of the entire nation. As we know, the fact that both of these topics are contained within the same Parsha indicates that despite their apparent unrelatedness, they do have a common denominator, and this common denominator is expressed in the name of the Parsha. The name of the Parsha, Emor, means to say. As we know, the usual formula that Hashem uses when communicating his commands in Torah is Daber el bnei Yisrael ve'emor lahem. Speak to the Israelites and say to them, prefacing the command to say with a command to speak. In Hebrew, the words for saying and speaking carry different nuances of meaning. Speaking is hard speech, a straightforward, objective expression of the message to be conveyed, emphasizing the accuracy and precision of the content, and no more. In contrast, Emor, saying, is soft speech, a subjective tailoring of the message reflecting full consciousness of its intended recipient in order to facilitate effective communication. According to our tradition, the unusual double expression with which the Parsha opens, say to the priests, the sons of Aaron, and say to them, means that Moshe is not only to deliver Hashem's message to the priests, he's also to enjoin the elder priests to instruct the younger priests. As we will see, this is the Torah's first injunction regarding education. Although this injunction is addressed to the Kohanim, we are all called upon to be Mamleches Kohanim V'Goy Kodesh, a nation of priests and a holy nation. And thus, it is imperative that the elders educate the youth, and that applies to all of us, Hashem says. Whenever we see in someone else a behavior, an attitude that's in need of edification or correction, we are ipso facto completely and immediately cast by divine providence in the role of educator. And in this sense, we play the part of teacher not only when educating our students, but in dealing with our colleagues, our children, our mates, ourselves as well. The implication, therefore, is that education in all its contexts must be carried out primarily with Vayomer, Emor, a soft speech. In order to be effective, educators must empathize fully with their charges and tailor their style of delivery accordingly. Furthermore, we may infer from the repetitive say that in order for our educative efforts to be effective, we must make full and extensive use of our power of speech. Even though our sages have enjoined us to say little and do much, and that I didn't find anything better for the body than silence, both of those are found in Pirkei Avos, this means that we should ensure our speech carries content that we avoid unnecessary repetition. The essential ingredient of effective education through soft speech is praising the student. All our potential students possess infinite, latent good. And by praising this good, we draw these positive qualities out of them, allowing them to actualize the potential of a far greater extent than they would by themselves. To be sure, when we assume the role of educator, we must be fully aware of the spiritual state of those who divine providence has placed in our care, assessing their failings and shortcomings honestly and objectively. However, at the same time, we must give them the benefit of the doubt, attributing any misdeeds to the circumstances in their lives. Judging them in this way doesn't absolve them from the guilt of having succumbed to temptation, because Hashem only places us in difficult situations if He gave us in advance the necessary strength of character to overcome such situations. If we fail to do so, it's because this God-given inner strength has not been allowed to manifest itself as it should have. And the reason is that is because we, who are responsible for educating our charges, have not praised them enough. Had we used our soft speech as much as we should have, we would have elicited our charges' latent potential and inner strength. So, all educators should assume personal responsibility for the moral failings of their charges. Switching gears, what is unique about the Jewish festivals is that it is the Jewish people who sanctify their dates. Whereas the holiness of Shabbos is fixed every seventh day, being Shabbos regardless of any act on our part, the dates of the festivals, which we sanctify time, are fixed only after the Jewish people, as represented by the rabbinical court, determines when the month begins. Remember, we have a doubt. The cycle of festivals, the sanctification of appointed meeting times with Hashem, is thus a further expression of the potency of speech, its power to influence and determine reality. By pronouncing a specific day, the first day of the new month, the Jewish people use their power of speech to educate time, to grant it a sense of holiness it would not otherwise possess, or rather to reveal its intrinsic holiness that would otherwise remain latent and hidden. As for the last three topics of the Parsha, the first two, the menorah and the lechem aponim, the candelabra and the showbread, can be considered a postscript to the section on the festivals, transferring the periodic inspiration of the festivals into the daily ritual of the temple. The closing topic of the Parsha, The incident of the blasphemer and his punishment is clearly a dramatic illustration of the improper use of speech and its consequences. Only because speech possesses real power is such grave importance attached to its misuse. So, after being told in Parshas Kodoshim that divine consciousness, sanctity, can indeed penetrate all facets of reality, we are told in Parshas Emor exactly how much power we have to accomplish this goal. As a Mamlechas Kohanim Begoy Kodesh, as a kingdom of priests and a holy nation, we have the power to affect and even determine reality through the proper use of speech, educating both our own inner youth as well as our actual youth towards holiness and imprinting time with holiness as well. My goodness, that was powerful. All right, thank you, Rebbe. Now we are going to, we have time for this. All right, in Parshas Emor, it comprises two major topics. The first is the sanctity required of the priests and the sacrifices. The second is the calendar of festivals, followed by topics such as the lighting of the menorah, the replacement of the showbread, the incident of the blasphemer. Now, interesting. All right, we'll stop there. Actually, in the second Aliyah, the section discusses bodily blemishes and ritual impurities which disqualify a Kohen from performing his temple duties. The Aliyah then lays down the rules regarding the Kohen's household and who may eat truma, the tithe from produce given to the Kohanim. All right, let us now go to Rabbi Avtson and learn a little bit more. All right. And that, of course, takes us to Parsha Points with Rabbi Opt. There we go. All right. Parsha Points with Rabbi Epstein.
Parsha Points for Emor on Monday. Is other people's business my business? Is what an adult does that doesn't hurt anyone else any of my concern? You're darn tootin' it is. If I see someone about to harm himself, I don't say, well, who am I to say anything? He's an adult, it's his life. It's not his life. It's Hashem's life. And Hashem has some very specific requirements from all of his creations. And if I see someone violating God's purpose, that means that person is heading for misery. And I yank him back onto the curb, gently, and help him find his way. That is true kindness. Moshe tells all of the Jewish people about the Kohen rules, so they can act as bumpers to keep the Kohen on task.
Keep your Kohen on tap. Shnayim Yomi for today.
Parshat Emor Sheini. Torah talks about a Kohen Aaron who is anybody from his family, from the Kahuna family, is not allowed to have a blemish, an imperfection in his body, because if he does, he cannot be somebody who offers the korbanot in the Beis Hamikdash. The Torah goes on to delineate what kind of imperfections we're talking about. We're talking about a man who is blind, a man who is lame, a man who is charum, which means there's no bridge between one eye and the nose is flat, o sarua, or we're talking about somebody has one limb that is bigger than the other limb, so he's walking not correctly. Such a person that has such a mum cannot be the one to offer the korbanot in the mizbeach. Somebody has a broken leg or a broken hand, somebody who is a gibein, his eyebrows are overgrowing, or somebody who is dak or tavalul, that's somebody who has some kind of eye malady, or somebody who has some kind of boils or dry or wet scabs, or somebody who has some kind of testicle injury, meroach oshech. Any person that has such an imperfection from Aaron's seed, from Aaron's family, is not permitted to be the one who offers the korbanos in the Beis Hamikdash, because again, he is holy. However, such a Kohen is permitted to eat and partake from the Kodesh Kedoshim and the Kodesh Kochim Kalim. He can eat, but he cannot enter the Ohel Moed. He cannot go close to the Mizbeach because of his imperfection. If he does so, he's really desecrating his Kahuna sanctity. The next parsha talks about that Aaron should separate himself from the Jewish people and not desecrate his holy name, again, because HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Almighty, has sanctified him. He should say to his generation, any person from the seed of Aaron that in fact eats a holy object, Kodesh Kedoshim, Kodesh Kalim, or Truma, when he is defiled, when he has a tumah on him, he will get the penalty of kares for such a person. A seed from Aaron HaKohen, who is a mitzora or a zav, he cannot again also eat kachim until he becomes tahar. One who touches a somebody who has touched a corpse, or has been in contact with a corpse, or somebody who has a nocturnal emission, or somebody who has touched a sheretz, a dead sheretz, or a individual who is tameh, then he cannot in any way eat kachim until he goes through the process. So what he has to do is go to the mikveh and wait for the sun to set. Once the sun sets, he in fact will be a tahar to eat. So same thing when it comes to nevela treifa, he's not allowed to eat when he's when he eat kosher when he eats when he is tameh, and he should keep all the laws of tumah and tahara. One who is not a kohen is not permitted to eat any of the trumos or the kachim. Somebody who is a toshav kohen, which means his ear was pierced because he wanted to remain as an eved until Yovel. He's not permitted to eat from the truma, nor is a sacher, with somebody who is enslaved for the 6 years that we learned in Parashas Mishpatim. He can't eat from kodesh, from truma. However, a kohen who has an eved knaini can eat from truma, and a person who is a child of a shivcha, born to the kohen's family, he can eat truma, and so could the kohen's wife. She can eat truma. A bas kohen who is married to a non-kohen, she's married to a Levi Yisrael, she can no longer eat truma because she's no longer part of the kohen's house. However, if this bas kohen becomes a widow or a divorcee and she has no children, she can return to her father's home, and at that point she can eat truma. If a person eats truma by accident, he has to repay the principal that he destroyed, plus he has to pay 20% and give it to the kohen. He's not permitted to desecrate any of the holy food that a kohen is allowed to eat.
All right, here's Rabbi Zilberstein today.
Like every day, let us give some tzedakah, and with expressing our prayers for the safety of our dear soldiers, the return of the hostages, and all of us be freed from hostage, from golus, from exile. Yesterday we spoke about Mother's Day. So I want to go back to yesterday's topic, in a certain sense, and also to the parsha of last week. And the reason I'm saying so, because Parshas Kedoshim, which we read this past Shabbat, the third verse is Ish Imoy Ve'aviv Tiro. The obligation, the biblical command of fearing and respecting your mother and your father. So, I'm still into the Mother's Day mode, and as I said yesterday, it should be every day of the year. And I'm into the concept of Kedoshim, of holiness. Interesting observation. The Parsha Kedoshim is one of the shortest Parshas in the Torah. It has a total of 64 verses. Yet, it has 51 commandments. One of the portions, Torah portions, with the most commandments in there. There's another one, I think, of 53, 55, 63, 71. But all the others are much longer portions of the Torah. This is a very short portion. As you remember from the reading of the parasha of this week in synagogue, it went pretty quick. And if you were talking, you might have missed the whole thing. So, what is the message? I think the message is as following. Kedoshim follows the parsha of Acharei. Acharei, which means after. What is the discussion parshas Acharei? But including the holiest day of the year, the day of Yom Kippur. It also relates a story of the passing of the two sons of Aaron who entered sanctity, the holiest of levels. So what does it mean that after that there is still Kedoshim? There is still holiness? Haven't we reached the highest level of holiness just in the parsha of Acharei? This is the period where we count the Omer. The 49 days between Pesach and Shavuot. Actually, it's not in between, but it's connecting Pesach with Shavuot. It's connecting our becoming a free people with our ascension, counting up towards receiving the Torah. So we have the 49 days of self-perfection, of going through all our particular emotional qualities and perfecting them, so as to be ready and receive the Torah, which is on the 50th day. Which this is Kedoshim. Holiness. How do we get to holiness? By applying those 613 commandments that we received on Matan Torah and since Matan Torah. Holiness is not some kind of an abstract spiritual experience. Holiness is a very applied, applicable day-to-day behavior. So says the Torah, in a brief, concise portion. You have ascended the 49 gates. You have perfected your entire emotional qualities. You come to the 50th, which in a certain sense represents the infinite, just like the number 8, a step above the 7. The 50th, which is the step beyond the 7 times 7, the counting of the Omer 49 days. And one can think, I made it. I'm on top. After Kedoshim, after Yom Kippur, now I really reached the highest level and I'm okay. Says the Torah 51. There's still one more. In other words, our ascension, our connection, our closeness to Hashem, to God, to Torah, to mitzvahs, to another person, to another Jew, is never ending. You reach the 50th, now go for the 51st. When is this 51st? Obviously, the coming of Mashiach. And may this happen today.
I love it. Moving on to Tehillim.
Al Yedei Amiras Tehillim, Al Yedei Amiras Tehillim, Al Yedei Amiras Tehillim, Tisoyre Chavatzeles Hashoroin.
All right, the saying of Tehillim, so unbelievably, vitally, incredibly important that we say it as often as is possible. So without further ado, we move to chapter 23 and chapters 123 together.
מזמור לדוד, אדוני רואי, לא אחסר, בינוס תשע, ירביצני, על מי מנוחוס ינהלני, נפשי שובב, ינחני במעגלי צדק, למען שמו, גם כי לך בגיא צלמובס, לא ירא, כי אתה עמדי, שבטך ומשענתך, המה ינחמוני, תערוך לפניי שולחן נגד צורריי, תשענת בשמן ראשי, כוסי רוויה, אך טוב וחסד ירדפוני, כל ימי חיי ושבתי בביס אדוני לאורך ימים.
شرمالس ويلخ نصاصي سيناي هاي شيبا شمايم هنخيين يا بودي ما يعددين يمكيين شيب خايد فيتا
All right, Tanya for today, the 5th day of Iyar.
Tanya thoughts for the 5th of Iyar. Feeling like you're living off your parents? Like this natural inborn love is just something you were handed? That you haven't added any value? The Tanya assures us that while it is true that this love of Hashem is inborn standard equipment, yet, like so many other natural talents, left untapped, it withers and dies. Activating this level of love is a value add. Without that effort, the love would remain dormant. So don't underestimate the impact you have by energizing that love and bringing it to life.
Let's talk Tanya for the 5th of Iyar of a leap year. So in yesterday's Tanya, we started talking about reciprocal love and the idea that when one person loves another person, so that automatically evokes that the second person should love that person back in return. Now, the Alter Rebbe says this is a rule that applies whenever you have two people, even if you have two peers. One person loves the other, that's automatically going to cause the other person to have feelings of love back towards the first person. But the Alter Rebbe says this idea is amplified when there is an imbalance. And the greater the imbalance, the greater the love. What do I mean by that? When a greater person demonstrates love to a lower person, and the greater person and the lowlier person, the greater that the love that the lower person is going to exhibit back to the greater person. And Alter Rebbe gives an example. It's quite descriptive. He says, imagine a king, a great king, a mighty king. And the king, one day, he departs his palace, and he's followed by his entire entourage, and he heads out of town. And there, at the outskirts of town, there is a garbage dump. And sitting in the garbage dump, there's a commoner over there, a lowly person, who's actually not only sitting in the garbage dump, but also covered with filth. And the king personally goes and extracts this commoner and brings him back to the palace and bathes him, cleans him off, brings him into the inner sanctum of the palace and enters into this most amazing relationship and friendship, and he hugs him and he kisses him. And we can only imagine just how much love this commoner would feel back for the king. In the words of the Alter Rebbe, even if this person, if his heart is made out of stone, the heart will melt and it will pour out like water for love for the king. Again, this is an illustration of the idea that the greater the imbalance, the greater the love. You know, if a one peer shows love to another peer, it's not going to be so awesome and so powerful, the love that's returned. But in this case, it's going to be incredible. And the Alter Rebbe tells us this is exactly what God did for us. When did he do this for us? How did he do this for us? We'll find that out in tomorrow's Tanya.
Love it. Yeah. All right. Sefer HaMitzvot to the Rambam is up
No, it's
next.
not impossible that Rebbe did say, just study
We are doing mitzvah minute number 48 today.
I'll never miss
Class number 40.
Baruch Hashem, today is day number 48 of our daily study of Rambam Sefer Mitzvahs. In the 3 chapters a day of Mishnah Torah, we are in Hilchos Eruvin, chapters 3, 4, and 5. And as mentioned yesterday, Hilchos Eruvin is entirely a rabbinic concept. It does not correspond to any one of the 613 biblical commandments. We explained that yesterday. However, we do have a commandment to study today. We have to study something. So we're going to do a mitzvah. This is what the mitzvah is in the schedule that we've done already. And you'll see how it's related to Erev. And if you don't see, I'll explain it a little bit. But here we go. We did this mitzvah about a week ago when we were in Hilchos Shabbos. And here it is. Negative commandment number 320, Leisasach Malacha. Do not do any productive, creative acts on Shabbos. So we had that before when we were doing the laws of Shabbos. We're doing it again now because we need a biblical commandment to study that's related to Erev. How is it related to Erev? Well, the concept of an Erev is related to the prohibition against carrying or transporting articles in the public domain, which that is a prohibition that would be considered a malacha, a productive, creative act on Shabbos. So it's connected to the prohibition against performing a malacha, a productive, creative act on Shabbos. Okay. Now, I want to explain something which is very, very elementary. It almost feels like it doesn't need to be explained, but my experience has shown me that a lot of people don't know this. And where I've encountered it, unfortunately, is often in a context of cynicism, where people, I'll just be blunt here, they speak derisively of the concept of Erev as a loophole. God forbid. They refer to it as a loophole, like, oh, who do you think you're tricking? God told you not to carry, and now you figured out a way to carry. God forbid. Okay. So I'll explain. And this is the most basic concept of the Erev. And that is, the Erev cannot permit one to do anything that is biblically forbidden. You cannot carry in a biblical public domain. It can't be done. And therefore, putting an Erev in such a domain would be completely ineffectual, would not even count as an Erev. The Erev is a rabbinic leniency to relieve you from a rabbinic stringency. In other words, the rabbis told us we're not even allowed to carry in areas that biblically we are allowed to carry in. It's called a Carmelis. And in this area, that the only prohibition against carrying there to begin with is rabbinic. So therefore, the relief from that, the exemption, can also be rabbinic. So the permission granted to carry within an Erev is only a permission to do something that the rabbis themselves prohibited, but then when they prohibited it, they gave also the way of remedying it. But it does not allow one to do something that's biblically prohibited, God forbid. So I just wanted to clarify that because, unfortunately, it's very commonly misunderstood. Okay, we're going to continue with the laws of Eruvin. Tomorrow, God willing, we'll see you then.
We've mentioned quite a few times in our series that our daily study of Sefer HaMitzvahs parallels the 3-chapter-a-day study cycle of Mishnah Torah. Whatever mitzvahs are dealt with in that study cycle are the mitzvahs that we deal with in our study of Sefer HaMitzvahs. Today and tomorrow, the study of Mishnah Torah deals with a rabbinic commandment, not one of the 613 mitzvahs. However, since it is a Shabbos-related subject, we return to a Shabbos-related mitzvah that we've studied before, negative mitzvah 320, the prohibition against working on Shabbos. Today we'll just add one more detail about that mitzvah, and that is that the Rambam tells us that one who transgresses the Shabbos inadvertently, if he was unaware that today is Shabbos or that this act is forbidden on Shabbos, he is not punished with any specific punishment. He only need bring a sin offering in the Beis HaMikdash. However, one who transgresses the Shabbos knowingly and was aware that this is forbidden on Shabbos, if he was not witnessed, he is punished by excision, known as kares. However, if he was witnessed, he then qualifies for the punishment of stoning.
Which brings us to matters of Mashiach. That's heavy stuff, right?
והוא גואלנו, והוא גואלנו, משיח צדקנו, הרבי מלובביץ' מלך המשיח, הרבי מלובביץ'.
You should know that what we describe, when we describe these prophecies, like others as metaphors, they're not exclusive. They may occur literally. There are many nisim, miracles, that will occur in the times of Mashiach. The general rule is that these miracles will not be initiated to eliminate our efforts. Instead, through our efforts, we will be elevated and merit these miracles. In the first stage of Mashiach, we will achieve perfection in Torah and in mitzvahs. And this achievement brings us to the second stage, where we will experience more miracles. In other words, Mashiach is not going to do our job. The miracles associated with the coming of Mashiach depend on us. Now, the Rebbe Maharash once asked his father, the Tzemach Tzedek, about the prediction that Mashiach was supposed to come in the year 5608. The Tzemach Tzedek answered him, the coming of Mashiach is a revelation of the soul's essence. That year, the Likutei Torah was printed. It revealed the essence of Torah, through which the essence of the neshama is revealed. The Rebbe Maharash answered, but we need Mashiach to come literally. Although there are spiritual aspects to the redemption, and many of these are available now, we must not be satisfied. We need to demand Mashiach in the literal sense. Listen to Shmuel Tzvi.
Shalom everybody, hope all is well. The war is ongoing in Gaza, in the north, and we need your prayers for victory and the ultimate victory with Mashiach. The world must know this one simple fact, that God gave this land to the Jewish people, to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob and their children forever. Anyone who has a problem with that has a problem with God, and we will surely be victorious. And God willing, the people in charge of the military must make it clear to the enemies that it's not worth it for them to start with the Jewish people. The enemies must realize that they will face the wrath of God if they start. That's how you have peace.
All right. The sages of old instituted the time of the Holy Temple 30 days before the onset of a holiday. Teachers should begin publicly instructing the masses regarding the laws of the holiday. So, from Purim and onwards, to teach the laws of Pesach. From the 5th of Iyar, that's today, and onwards, to teach the laws of Shavuos. So, beginning tomorrow, we will begin learning the laws of Shavuos. They are many and they are complicated. I'm going to try and find you one halacha to go with right now, just so we can say that we have started. There are those who have the custom to decorate their synagogues and homes with flowers, boughs from trees, and add to the happiness of the festival. To recall that on Shavuos, judgment is rendered regarding the fruits of the trees. All right? So there you have it. The time of Shavuos is a time to decorate your house with flowers and shrubbery. It also commemorates the events where there were flowers blooming on Har Sinai, on Mount Sinai. All right? We'll do more halachas of Shavuos every day. Hopefully, we'll do a little halacha, and we will catch up by the time we are done. Right? You like that? Okay. All right. Must be a soup kitchen and food pantry available by texting word food to 726-879. 7 days worth of pantry food and hot meals every day in Flatbush Borough Park in Queens. In Rockland County, tomcheshabbos.org. In Lakewood, tomche.org. In Teaneck, you have Tomche Shabbos of Bergen County, Tomche Shabbos of Bergen County. All right? That's a very important, let's see. Hold on. No, we got to do that. All right. Okay. Sorry about that. Just had to fix that. All right. Achiezer.org is there to help you out 24/7, 365 on their hotline. So please call them or go to their website. And just one Shabbos, still here to help our youth return to the joy of keeping Shabbos one Shabbat at a time, which is really, really important. Just one Shabbos. If you are, God forbid, in hate crime in progress, you need to call 911, even on Shabbos and on Yom Tov. And Hatzalah, in case of emergency. Your call is to Hatzalah, not to 911. Call Hatzalah in case of a medical emergency. They will get you there quicker than anything. If you don't need one of these numbers right over here, use the Global Assist app, which can help you out instantaneously. Put it on the home screen of your iOS or Android phones. Miss Oscom in times of bereavement can take care of everything from A to Z. Contact them if you need them. Now, when you are out and about, it is my request to you, my lovely Breakfast with Elliers, to wear a mask. Okay?
Wear a mask. Is this really much to ask? Tie some fabric around your face.
All right. Stay up to date with your boosters. And let's bring some heaven down to earth. Ready? High upon her precipice, our neshama is nameless. She has no form. She will be whatever she must be. Peering below, beneath the clouds, she perceives a faint shimmering of her light in the deep, moist earth. There, she finds a form and calls it a name. And she answers when that name is called, for she says, "This is me." But it's not her. It's only a faint glimmering of her light within the frame of a distant world. Understood that? deep stuff about our neshama. I love it. Absolutely love it. If you'd like to talk to me more about it, come to me on any of the social media platforms of the Actors Rabbi at Clubhouse, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Telegram, Twitter, WhatsApp, YouTube, or theactorsrabbi.com, and sign up for our
Baruch ato Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam boirei nefashos rabois v'chesronan al kol ma sheborasa lachayos bohem nefesh kol chai baruch chai ha'olamim.
All right. I cannot thank you enough for being here. Thank you to my Patreon sponsors, Pest Pro Rizal, Harzane Orchids, Dina D Design, Bracha Biederman, Avi G, Reza Musavi. You should become a sponsor by going to patreon.com/theactorsrabbi or breakfastwithelli.live/newcomputer, breakfastwithelli.live/newcomputer if you would like to contribute today to helping us get a brand new computer so that we can put the show together and run it as smooth as possible. Thank you for being here. It is Hey Iyar, the 5th day of Iyar, Yom HaAtzmaut in Israel, Independence Day, Yom HaZikaron, the day of remembrance, Broken Heart, a new a cappella version of Broken Heart by Ari Goldweg and Shmuley Schneider. There you have it. All right. Go out and do something good and something kind and something nice for someone today. In the words of Rabbi Isaac Hobler, have affection for a fellow. Hashem will have affection for you. Do a kindness for a fellow. Hashem will do a kindness for you. Draw a fellow close. Hashem will open up with both hands and draw you closer to Him. Make it a great and glorious day. Be the reason someone smiles. And I will see you, God willing, morgen, tomorrow.
What happens when the words get lost inside? When the silent tears keep falling and thoughts run dry? If I sit and hold the sinner and it's the best that I can do, if I don't have the words, can I still try to talk to you? I've been trying since the day I learned to read, but some days I just can't ask for what I need. And what if I'm afraid that you're not proud of what you see? If I don't have the words, can I still feel you talk to me? Maybe all you want from me is a broken heart. Maybe nothing's as complete as a broken heart. You're listening when I can't find the words. My pleas are not unseen and my voice not unheard. In the little prayer that flows from my broken heart, can you somehow draw me close when I feel so far? Surely you who shapes my story part by part can hear a song that's hard. time or place, and that nobody is too small to feel your embrace. And I'm learning that you wait to hear my voice. To you it's sweet. I close my eyes and connect as I repeat. Maybe all you want from me is a broken heart. Maybe nothing's as complete as a broken heart. You're listening when I can't find the words. My pleas are not unseen and my voice not unheard. In the little prayer that flows from my broken heart, you will somehow draw me close when I feel so far. Surely you who shapes my story part by part can hear a song that's whole from a broken heart. Bring them home, bring them home. We've been praying for so long, so Abba, please bring them home. Bring them home, please bring them home. We've been praying for so long, so Abba, please bring them home. We're coming home, we're almost home.